So today we talked about converting measurements in the metric system. And the numbers in the metric system are a lot simpler than in the customary system that we use in the United States. And as long as you understand what all these prefixes mean. So our base measurements are going to be meters for length, liters for capacity, grams for mass. Now these prefixes tell you how many, either what fraction of a meter it is, or liter or gram, or how many times that we're talking about. So kilometers is 1,000 meters. Kiloliters is 1,000 liters. Kilograms is 1,000 grams. And the abbreviations for these would start with K, that's what this K is, and it would be kilometers, kiloliters, and kilograms. So we have these abbreviations here and this abbreviation here, and that holds for all of these. Okay, so now one way I can remember how many times, how many meters, liters, and grams are in each of these prefixes is I can count how many places away that prefix is from our base value here. So we have meters, and kilometers is 1, 2, 3 places away. So that means there are 1, 2, 3 zeros after the 1 in the conversion value between those two. So I move 3 places over, that means there's 1,000 of these, or in these, in this. Same goes for the others. So a hectometer, a hectoliter, and a hectogram, you move over 2 places, and so there's 2 zeros after the conversion factor. So there's 100 meters in a hectometer, 100 liters in a hectoliter, 100 grams in a hectogram. And decameters, decaliters, and decagrams, we move over 1 place, so that's 10. And we have this on our cheat sheet, in case we forget. Now if we're going in this direction, the numbers are getting smaller. So now, this is 1/10, 1 over 10. Or you can think of it like this. This is 1 place away from here, so there are 10 of these in this. This is 100th. So this is centimeters is 100th of a meter, centiliters is 100th of a liter, centigrams is 100th of a gram. So we move 2 places over, and so we put 2 zeros after it. That means there's 100 centimeters in a meter, and the centimeter is 1/10, or excuse me, 100th of a meter. Okay. A milliliter is 1, 2, 3 places away, so there's 1,000 milliliters in a meter, or milliliters in a liter, because we moved over 3 places, so that's 1, 2, 3 zeros. And there is 1 milliliter is 1,000th of a liter, 1 millimeter is 1,000th of a meter, and there's a decimal form here, and 1 milligram is 1,000th of a gram. So we're going from largest to smallest. Now I'm going to show you how to use this to very quickly, very easily convert metric units, and you'll find that the math for this is really easy too. So we have, using a map, Alex estimates that the distance between his house and his grandparents' house to be about 15,000 meters. 15,000 meters. Having a little trouble here. Now, if I'm going, and we need to figure out how many kilometers that is. So if we're going from meters to kilometers, I could see, since largest is over here and smallest is over here, I'm going from small to big. So if I use my arms method, to determine what the operation is, it's division. So how many kilometers are in a meter? Well, if I move 1, 2, 3 places to the left, that tells me that I should have 1, 2, 3 zeros in my conversion factor here. So there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So 15,000 divided by 1,000. Now we could do it the long way. We could do this. 1,000 goes into 1 0 times, 1,000 goes into 15 0 times, 1,000 goes into 150 0 times, 1,000 goes into 1,500 one time. I subtract, I get 500, I bring down the 0, 1,000 goes into 5,000 15 times. Now, there is a much faster way to do this, which we talked about back in chapter 3. I know this was a long time ago, but I'm going to show it to you again. So we have 15,000, and we're dividing by 1,000. Well, I know there's 1, 2, 3 zeros in 1,000, so I move the decimal place 3 places. Now, do I move it to the left or to the right? Well, since I'm dividing by a whole number, my answer should be smaller than my original number. If I moved it to the right, my answer would get bigger because I'd be adding zeros to it. So I'm going to move to the left 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Put the decimal here. My answer is 15 kilometers. And we'll do a few more of those. So Jamie made a bracelet 1.8 decimeters long. How many millimeters long is Jamie's bracelet? So they filled this in. 1.8 decimeters, that's 1 decimeter and 8 centimeters. But I don't even need to think about that because I know this is big and this is small. And if I'm going from decimeters to millimeters, which is what they're asking us to do here, I can see that I'm going big to small. So I take 1.8, big to small is multiplying. And how much do I multiply by? Well, how many places am I moving to the right? 1, 2 places. 1, 2. So I multiply this by 100. The 1 with 2 zeros after it. So the shortcut for this, and I want everyone to do it this way because it's a big waste of time to do long multiplication for a problem like this, which is the whole point of the metric system, is that you can do this very easily in your head by just moving the decimal point. I'm multiplying by 100. That means it's going to get bigger. So my decimal point should move to the right. There's 2 zeros here, so I move it twice. 1, 2. There's a space here, so I fill it with 0. So my answer is 180 millimeters. So this problem says convert 247 milligrams to centigrams, decigrams, and grams. So I have milligrams here and going to centigrams, milligrams going to decigrams, and milligrams going to grams. And all 3 of these, I'm going from small to big, so I divide. And so if and here it tells me I'm going from milligrams to centigrams, I'm dividing by 10. Well, I know that because I'm just moving over 1 place, so there's 1 0 here. If I'm dividing, my decimal goes to the left, so I can get, because I know my answer will be smaller. There's 1 0, so I moved over 1 place, and my answer here is 24.7 centigrams. And now to find the decigrams, I move it to the left 2 places because I'm dividing by 100. As you can see, 1, 2. Decigrams are 2 place values to the left, so there's 2 zeros here. So I move this 2 places, 1, 2, and I get 2.47 centigrams, or decagrams, excuse me, and decigrams, not decagrams. Decagrams are over here. And then we have 247 milligrams divided by 1,000 to get grams. Well, I'm moving 1, 2, 3 places over, so that's how we get 1,000. So to divide by 1,000, I move to the left 3 places. 1, 2, 3, and I get 0.247 grams. Now for this one, I have 3.9 hectoliters to decaliters, liters, and deciliters. So I have hectoliters. I'm moving it to, changing it to decaliters, liters, and deciliters. And I can see from this I'm going big to small, which means multiplication. So if I'm multiplying this by 10, So if I'm going from hectoliters to deciliters, I multiply by 10 because it's only one place value. And I move it to the right, I get 39. Because when I multiply, the number's getting bigger, so I should move it to the right. If I moved it to the left, it would be getting smaller. So now from hectoliters to liters, I'm moving 2 places, so I multiply by 100 because it has 2 zeros. So I move the decimal place 2 places to the right, 390. And if I'm converting from hectoliters to deciliters, I am multiplying by 1,000 because I move over 3 places. There's 3 zeros here. 1, 2, 3. Whenever there's a space, you fill it with zeros, like we did up here. And I get 3,900 deciliters. So I'll do a few more of these down here. So I have 4,250 centimeters. So I'm starting at centimeters and I'm converting to meters. So that is small to big. And that is division. So 4,250, and there's 2 place moving 2 place values over to the left here. So small to big, that's division. And since we're moving over 2 places, there's going to be 2 zeros after the 1, so I divide it by 100. And my really quick, easy way of dividing by 100 is put my decimal point here. And I move 2 places to the left. If I moved it to the right, it'd be getting bigger. When we divide, we're getting smaller, so it should be to the left, not the right. 1, 2. I get 42.5 meters. Now we have 6,000 milliliters to liters. So we have milliliters to liters. So this is small to big, so it's division. 6,000 divided by, and then we are moving 1, 2, 3 place values. So I put 1, 2, 3 zeros after the 1. 6,000 divided by 1,000. Well, I'm dividing, so I'm going to move to the left to make my answer smaller than my original number. I put my pencil here, and since there are 3 zeros, I move 1, 2, 3 places to the left, and I get 6 liters. And finally, I have 4 decigrams to centigrams. Okay, so I'm going from here to here. So this is large to small, so that's multiplying. So 4 times, and how many places am I moving over? I'm moving over only 1 place, so it'll be 1 zero after the 1. 4 times 10 is 40. So 4 decigrams is 40 centigrams.